Okay, just imagine this for a second. You wake up tomorrow morning, look at the news, and every single border on Earth has just vanished. Poof, gone. So what happens next?
Look, this isn't just some minor tweak. It's a huge question that basically pits two totally opposite futures against each other. Are we talking about a new age of unbelievable freedom, or would we just spiral into complete and utter chaos?
So the first thing you have to wrap your head around is this. No more countries. The whole idea of a nation as we know it would be gone, literally, overnight.
And all that paperwork, the visa applications, waiting for months just for permission to travel or work somewhere, yeah, all of that would be completely irrelevant.
And that little book in your drawer that defines who you are and where you're allowed to go, it's basically a museum piece now. We're looking at a world with just one territory, planet Earth.
So what would this actually mean in practice? Well, to really get the impact, we first have to understand what borders really are, because they're a whole lot more than just lines on a map. And that's the crucial part, right? These invisible lines control almost everything in our lives, the opportunities we get, the rights we have, and even our sense of who we are. So if you erase them, you're not just redrawing a map, you're rewriting the entire rulebook for human society. All right, let's start with the optimistic view, the dream scenario. For a lot of us, the first taste of a world without borders would feel like an absolute dream come true.
I mean, can you just imagine that feeling of liberation? The entire planet, every city, every mountain, every single coastline, suddenly open to you with no barriers at all.
The freedom would be just absolute. You could decide to pack up and move to Tokyo tomorrow, start a new job in Buenos Aires next week, or just wander the globe with zero restrictions. The whole planet would basically become one giant open neighborhood. But, every dream eventually ends. And after that initial rush of excitement, the cold, hard reality of billions of people moving wherever they want would start to set in. And, well, it would get very complicated very fast. That beautiful dream of freedom would slam head-on into the brick wall of logistics, resources, and just plain old human nature.
You'd see the dominoes start to fall, one after another. A massive human tide would flow towards places with more opportunity, and cities would be totally overwhelmed in months, not years. Housing, healthcare, public transport, all of it stretched to the breaking point. Competition for everything would become absolutely fierce. And in the middle of all that, a total legal vacuum. I mean, whose laws do you follow when there are no nations?
All that social chaos would then trigger a massive economic shockwave that would reshape the entire global financial system almost instantly.
The economic pressure would be insane. On one hand, wealthier regions would get flooded with new people, which could drive down wages and totally buckle their social safety nets. At the same time, the places people are leaving could face a catastrophic brain drain, with their economies getting completely hollowed out. But there is another side to this. A truly global talent pool could spark unbelievable innovation. The perfect person for any job could come from anywhere, creating new industries and solving problems we never thought possible. It's a really high-stakes gamble between total collapse and an economic renaissance.
So here's the key takeaway. Getting rid of borders doesn't magically get rid of inequality. The gap between rich and poor would still be there. It would just look different. It wouldn't be between nations anymore, but between these super dense, wealthy cities and the empty regions left behind. The problem doesn't go away. It just changes its address.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the practical chaos. But what about the bigger picture here? Beyond all the problems, is there a chance for something better? Something more unified?
And this really gets to the philosophical heart of the whole thing. It's a trade-off, isn't it? A choice between a unified humanity on one side and the unique identities that we all hold so dear on the other.
I mean, on one hand, the promise of global unity could mean an end to wars fought over a piece of land. That'd be incredible. But what happens to our individual identities? Would we get this beautiful fusion of cultures creating amazing new art, new music, new food? Or would we just end up with one dominant kind of bland global culture that slowly erases all the unique languages and traditions that give us our sense of belonging? For all their faults, borders have been like greenhouses for culture. Without them, we risk losing all that diversity.
It's a pretty deep question to think about. If you're no longer defined by your nationality, what becomes the new foundation for who you are? Is it your city, your job, your personal beliefs?
But as we pull back from this whole thought experiment, we're left with this one startling thought. Maybe the lines on the map were never the real problem to begin with. Because even in a world with no physical borders at all, we'd still carry those borders around in our heads. Would we really unite? Or would we just find new ways to divide ourselves, new lines based on ideology or wealth or beliefs? That human instinct to create an us and a them, that might be the one barrier that we can never, ever erase.
Thinking about all this isn't just some fun mental game. It's really like a mirror that reflects what holds us together and what tears us apart. A world without borders wouldn't just be a simple upgrade, it would be the most radical transformation in the entire history of human society.
So the question isn't just academic, it's personal. After weighing the dream of ultimate freedom against the risk of total chaos, where do you land? Is a unified humanity worth dismantling the world as we know it?
This is one of the biggest what-ifs you can ask, and there are definitely no easy answers. I'd love to know what you think, so drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed digging into these mind-bending questions, make sure to like this and subscribe for more, because the world is full of lines, just waiting to be redrawn.